before they remove the Selena right now. They have to pick their poison, and with that being said, Siren Clan could still maybe open up more options. Maybe they might not want to ban both of it and keep some priority for themselves because they get to pick 2 in a row. So there's also Uranus. We can also talk about, hey, other than that, there's also going to be carry, but Selena proved to be too big of a threat. So they're keeping it that way. And of course, it will be Jep's turn to actually start things off.
And I mean, Claude is on the table. It's a very free marksman, but it looks like they don't want to even pick it up. Well, Siren Clan, they could look to get, they could look to pick up the Claude themselves, maybe even a Grok, but oh wait, sorry, Grok has already been banned. So Natalia apparently.
Whoa, we're looking at the Indonesian meta being brought into Malaysia and Singapore. Well, 2 really solid picks, but we've seen Natalia is not invincible, so. It is a very, very strong assassin, but I'm looking at the late game here. How are they supposed to actually burst down Bosskur's Uranus right there? But, you know, there is going to be the carry, which is still going to be a strong suiting for the side of Bosskurr. Jep's still taking his time to think as he'll go for that Cho. And most likely, Sino will be able to actually get this in his hands.
Yeah, and we expect him to do great things with the Cho, or even Zaraki isn't going to be playing in this particular lineup. Oh wait, no, yes he is. He is playing it instead. That's my bad. But you know, Zaraki and Sino both have a very good Cho. Like Zaraki, if not necessary, if he needs to be the Cho as an off laner, he can do that, and the same can be said for Sino. Siren Clan just has more things to worry about. They picked the Carmilla, which is kind of interesting for themselves to actually deal with the Uranus. They could have gone for the Esmeralda very early on, but I think for Team Bosskurr, it should be easy for them to actually start banning out the Esmeralda.
Oh yeah, and it seems like they rather ban out the Jawhead, so maybe they might want to surprise us with something else, but that's definitely one big threat that they've considered removing, because Jawhead's pick rate has been pretty much high, and Siren Clan might just need to actually opt to pick up, like you said, maybe an Esmeralda, maybe, but they've already got that Camilla on their side, which is heavily unnecessary. So one more ban for the side of Siren Clan as they opt to remove
Your
Rafaela.
team is picking.
Okay, so they're denying, options that kind of help rotations for the side of Team Bosskurr. Siren Clan can look to pick up the Esmeralda for themselves if they want to here, but will they go for it? I mean, they can save up their tank, the tank/support option at the very end, so they don't have to really worry about it. They're hovering over the Thamos to deal with either Cho or to deal with the Uranus on the top side. It looks like they don't want to have a boring matchup up in the top lane.
Yeah, and I'm looking at how things are definitely going to be going for the side of Bosskurr. It's going to be a little bit tough as we see Kaja here actually going in for that sort of pick off there. They're looking to actually shut down Natalia and perhaps go in right there with Kufra opening things up. I'm actually liking this sort of the idea that Team Bosskurr has. So right now, it's going to be really tough for Siren Clan to actually find a way to actually get some good assassinations with the Natalia.
I don't know here. This is going to be tough because look at the options that Natalia has. She has Kaja, she kinda has Sho, and obviously it's going to be carry as well, but still, she wouldn't be able to one-shot people, and hopefully she's able to get that early pick-off just to get the ball rolling.
And that definitely will be the case where they really need those early pickoffs right there. And we talk about that Esmeralda, which Team Bosskurr might have actually gone for, but it will instead land on the hands of Siren Clan. So, well, this is definitely going to be very, very interesting to watch. Well, both sides are duking it out for their own national pride, and of course, this is the final series between the two of them. And we're definitely expecting some great action. But before that, they got something to say to each other, and let us both have a look.
I'll turn Zaraki into Darky. Pada Siren, yang A1 A2 kan nama dia tu. Kau tu, hidung dah macam Pinocchio, lagi nak caca Aduh, sedarlah diri tu, brother.
Yo, okay, that's trash talk coming in from Team Bosskurr. Like, they've really upped the trash talk game, I have to admit.
Oh man, that's personal attack. Like, oh, that's definitely heartfelt for members of Siren Clan. But with this, maybe they might just actually turn this to motivation to prove that hey, they can actually smash them up. But there we go.
Yeah, that's
a little
true.
bit of pause going on the way. But man, back to the trash talk. Yeah, Siren Clan definitely can up their game a little bit on that, but ooh, I don't know. They went to the face, straight up to the face.
I'm telling you, yeah, it's straight up to the face, man. And I'm telling you, we need more. We need terrible trash talk. I mean, there's people who are like kind of weak on it, which is understandable. But every season, it gets a little bit more interesting. And I have to say, this particular season, like Singapore, come on, you guys are just holding back. We saw the previous seasons. We know how good the trash talk can get. And now when Malaysia is starting to catch up, you kind of back away. Like, come on, we need some heated taunts.
Yeah, I think one of the best trash talkers out there, when it comes to all these taunt videos that we've watched in a couple of seasons, I think Kolia always have something very interesting to say at the very least. Yeah. Also, hats off to him.
Boy.
Like, if there's an award, I would personally deliver it to him. Like, hey, you're really great with your words. Like, keep it up for at least more seasons to come.
Honestly, my contenders for trash talk, Aeon is a really great trash talker. It's just that he's terrible when it comes to on-camera stuff. Just talking to him in person, the way he trash talks is pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely felt personally attacked sometimes.
Well, of course, with that being said, we're about to continue with our very first game with Team Bosskurr on the blue, Siren Clan on the red, and you know, let's have all the action do the talking this time around.
Yep, as we can see, Siren Clan this time, a lot is running on them here because they want to make it within the top 8 and not fall down into the bottom 2. So they're going to have to do everything they can in their power to actually win these games against Team Bosskurr. 2-0 sounds pretty good, but they'll take a 2-1 if they have to.
Yeah, they definitely need any sort of points that they can get. The more the better. And right now, as it stands, of course, they're sort of a lineup that they have proposed for this game of 1 seems to be pretty much formidable against Bosskur's side. Azura actually soaking so much damage, but here comes the cavalry as A1, A2 arrives to save his teammate. So as it stands, still a stalemate, but both sides are playing a little bit slowly. They're not taking aggressive movements into the jungle for invades. But, you know, Bosskurr as well, they don't really want to give 3 points away. So Zaraki here has to deal with MPL over on top side. Well, speaking of which, here comes Alicia trying to actually take one camp off.
Yeah, and it looks like they want to go for one more camp. They know they're doing the buff, so they're kind of just slow rolling this right now. But MPL, he's going to take quite a bit of damage. He dodges Sweezy footsteps. He's trying to get out. He gets the start with shield, but it's not enough. And now Siren Clan, they have to make the response now. The smoke screen is hot, but the back line is just way too far away. Like, there's nothing they can really do to kind of avenge this kill. Claude forced to go back into the mid lane.
What I really like about Team Bosskur's lineup is that they have an element of surprise. Like, every single one of these members of Team Bosskurr has an ability that can actually give them a dash. And with that, they just went up towards the top side and just pounced over around towards MPL. And nothing much that can be done right there. And Team Bosskurr starts the lead, takes down the first turn of the game.
Yeah, there's nothing much you can do here, and it looks like, you know, it takes a little bit of damage for A1, A2, but it doesn't really matter in general. Like, the amount of damage he's willing to put isn't enough, and now Azura gets hit by the Divine Justice, but it isn't enough to stop the damage from Lexia. His passive just constantly proccing each and every time. He's spinning Light Wheels, very powerful spell, but now, oh no, A1, A2, he uses the Purify to walk away. Is it enough to secure the kill? No, it isn't. Too easy for Cheps. Now in a lot of trouble. Baba Yaga gets hit by the Tyrant's Rage. He uses his Purify as well, but he doesn't continue forward with the Battle Mirror image, which means Zaraki is able to jump right on top of him. He flickers over the wall to secure the kill, and the rest of the team is currently just running away.
And we're looking at Azura X actually chasing him down as well. He might just actually dish some damage, but this Zaraki is way too tanky for Natalia to actually take on for now. Xenos is causing some disruption here, hoping to actually steal the buff away. He might just actually be able to do so. Oh my goodness, he does!
No. He wasn't able to. Luckily, the stun hold up by Carmilla A1, A2 was well timed. Just before that Ionic Edge was able to pop off, she was able to kind of snag away that blue buff. Which is, you know, at least you're not giving it over to your opponent, especially when you are the Uranus. The one thing you're most worried about, especially in the earlier stages of the game, is your mana. Mana as well as cooldowns that you get from the blue buff as well.
Yeah, oh, here comes a little bit of a pickoff here coming from Too Easy for Jeff. Tyrant's Rage should actually push A1, A2 aside. And yeah, I gotta get my eyes checked after this lockdown is, of course, finished. But there's gonna be some turtle contests going over to the riverside. And once again, Jeff's going for a setup.
Yep, and it looks like he knew exactly where A1, A2 was, but again, A1, A2 with a spell vamp. Just a little bit of spell vamp is enough, and it goes pretty long way in the earlier stages of the game. Turtle is going to go down over to Team Bosskurr, and they continue to control this top side. However, Siren Clan can't seem to punish the bottom side because Uranus is essentially unkillable and has been proxying the waves since the 3rd minute of the game.
Yeah, and he's just going to be continuing to do so. Well, at first I actually thought Xeno will be picking up the Cho instead, but he definitely has been expanding his horizons, and he's actually causing so much nuisance. Like, he's just proxying waves after waves. He might just actually proxy out the mid lane as well, but Ambus here suffocating a little bit. Same goes to A1, A2, trying to cut in from the buff side, but Azura might just have some plans to actually catch them all off. Zaraki hoping to actually take on A1, A2. As Siren Clan, they're all over the place.
Yep, and it looks like A1, A2, he got hit by the way of the dragon, but it's not enough. Oh, the damage coming in from Lexia. The proc from the red buff was just a little too good. The 2 damage was all he needs, and Baba Yaga, he's got to quickly ramp up as soon as possible because his team really needs the damage now more than ever. Too easy for Jeps. Unfortunately, even though Claude doesn't have a lot of damage, that Demon Hunter Sword will still shred your tanks. Ambus, the next to fall.
Now we're looking at Xeno here, just walking away. But wow, big fights coming in on Bosskur's favor, and Zaraki can easily just walk away out of this. But Xeno, I really gotta give him credit where, you know, he's causing so much distraction where Joe is just wasting a little bit more time, but he's trying to actually steal that camp away, while Xeno will go ahead to just show him a little bit of that emote. And this is gonna be the longest fight right down the bot side.
Yeah, this is honestly, the bot side is one of the most boring matchups you could ever get, but now Too Easy for Jeps in trouble. He can't really do much. The Tyrant's Rage does come out. He gets a little bit of heal for his passive. He has to re-engage for the sake of his team, but with the bouncing ball, somehow he survives as Bosskurr come rushing in. Lexia does a really good job positioning himself away from Azura and Baba Yaga. There was just no option for them to go through. With the help of Zaraki, the threat of the 3rd hit of Jakundo was enough. And yes, he might be able to pick up a kill onto Azura if it wasn't for Baba Yaga and the quick fingers of the Battle Mirror image. No. Is he going to find him in the Pixel Brush? No, he does not.
Yeah, and of course, we're talking about the Natalia here not having any single kill at all. This is due to the fact that Team Bosskurr drafted such a heavy tank lineup that it's so hard for her to actually maneuver around to just look for Lexia, and Lexia is just going in and out of fights so easily. And here comes A1, A2 trying to actually hold on towards this tier 2, but more members of Bosskurr are coming right in, so this is not a wise idea. Top lane tower will be opened up by Siren Clan as they look to trade that away.
Yep, Lexia just bought the Winsome Nature, and that's going to be super important, especially against the Blazing Duet when Baba Yaga comes in hot into the team fight next time. So they got to be real careful now because Lexia does have some counterplay.
Well, Lexia definitely will be able to actually pull off quite some counter right there, but I'm looking at Siren. They can't really get too much of those kills. For the fact that they're not really coordinating way too well. Oh, Tyrant's Rage goes right in, and that's one heavy kick pick off there. Azura is gone.
There's nothing much they can do now. They just have to kind of let this tier 2 go down. The rest of the team is kind of distorted, trying to deal with the backline, but A1, A2 gets yanked in with the Divine Justice, but Baba Yaga gets hit, and he's trying to take out Lexia. Quickly, one more auto attack. He was so close, but Lexia's passive was just a little too strong.
Way too strong, I could say. And of course, Bosskurr now, knowing that they don't have Baba Yaga to actually worry about, they can just easily find their way to take their next objective right down below, which will be one turtle. And who knows if they can just shove in all these sort of the waves and take each one of all these camps, they will be extending their lead even further. And speaking of the lead right now, we're looking at a 8k differential coming on the way. Well, of course, my math's a little bit off, but it's going to be 6,000 in gold. And let's have a look at towards the items of Lexia for now.
Yeah, and it looks like Lexia has got what he needs. He's got his core items, and the 8-kill plus Bounty Hunter has made it very conclusive. His full build is imminent. Baba Yaga, on the other side, has kind of been struggling to get those procs for his Bounty Hunter. He needs to secure some kills for himself. Sino and Joe back at it again. Nothing much is going to happen until the rest of Siren Clan shows up. The consecration has been used, and Sino now in a little bit of trouble here.
Lord.
He needs to kind of think about what he's doing, but the Blazing Duet coming out for too easy for Jeps. The rest of the team, where is Team Bosskurr? Lexia is here, and now Siren Clan are on the run.
And of course, for Siren Clan, they can only get a little bit of that sort of wave being halted upon, but they definitely have lost out on the opportunity towards securing that Lord as it march towards the mid lane. But, you know, it's still a level 1 Lord, which they can easily clear off, which shouldn't be much of a problem for Siren Clan for now. But they are just stalling time, waiting for the right moment, and hopefully if Team Bosskurr overextends, it might just be the death of them.
Yep, and now they're going to be trying to break into the inhibitor turrets here. It's not a Luminous Lord, but it's good enough to start pushing through. Remember, Natalia is in the backline here, so too easy for Jeps. He finds the backline, he's going for it, but Lexia is taking quite a bit of damage. The Divine Judgment secures the kill onto Azura, and that's going to be the game for Team Bosskurr, as now they are wrecking into the base of Siren Clan. 2 members down, 3 trying to clear the way, but that crystal isn't going to go down just yet. But finally, Team Bosskurr decided that it's time to hit
once again being locked away by Team Bosskurr. Well, Siren Clan should actually consider of banning a few things that is going to be a big problem for them. They played the Claude, wasn't successful. They're hoping to actually catch a different marksman, so forcing the side of Team Bosskurr to ban out Selena.
Oh boy. Alright, okay, so it looks like the same kinds of bans coming in from both Siren Clan and Team Bosskurr here. This time, Siren Clan the only change is that Siren Clan has decided to switch out that Claude. I'm expecting Team Bosskurr to not let the Selena go, but I think they're honestly considering, like, hey, Selena was up last game, but they didn't really want to take it. So, I think they can hold off on it, ban out the carry, and force Siren Clan into a decision that they have to make. Do you want to take the Uranus, or do you want to give it up?
Well, I think it's a better option to pick up the Selena right here, but instead they are still going for Uranus here, which, you know, they need that beefy lineup, and I feel like this is definitely going to be very vital for them. But for Bosskurr, they get the best of both worlds. They can choose to play the Grok, they can choose to play another Natalia? Oh, seems like they really want to show off what they've got and show them the right way to play Natalia instead.
I mean, it's a quick flex, but let's see whether they're able to pull it off. I mean, we have a couple of Natalia players in the side of Team Bosskurr. I just never expected them to actually whip it out in this particular matchup and so early on against the Siren Clan. And Siren Clan, they're going to pick up their options. They're going to deny the Cho from Zaraki and Sino, who've been performing exceptionally well at their roles, if they're using Cho, and the Selena for themselves, just to say, hey, you know what? You want to play early game? Let's play early game.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking at how they are actually having some really aggressive picks coming from the side of Siren Clan, where Ambus really needs to be on his toes to look out for that Natalia that will be roaming around. But, you know, what's even more interesting, when both these assassins collide, I want to see the Natalia
Your
look
team
for
is
that
banning.
Selena, but they're going in for that export.
I mean, they're trying to use the X-Borg as a way to deal with the Uranus, but it's a pretty slow matchup. And yes, you can farm from afar and be very efficient at doing just that. You're not really going to be getting ahead in the lane like you want to do as an X-Borg. Preferably for Team Bosskurr, I would like to see something along the lines of Granger
Your team
or
is
even
banning.
Valier if they wanted to pick it up for themselves. Siren Clan, they ban out the Valier because they've got a lot of hard engagers like Cho and Selena, so it's only natural that they ban out the Valier. Team Bosskurr, they could ban out the Bruno and pick up Granger for themselves, and that could be pretty huge for their team.
Yeah, I'm really looking at this where, it could have been some really great pickups there. And for today, although Valier was being
Your
opened up
team is
ample of
picking.
times, none of all these teams have been picking up just yet. So I'm not too sure here. Like, is it because it's not really well suited for the Malaysian meta, or is it just better options out there? But hey, we're talking about better marksmen on the table. That's definitely going to be the Granger still up for grabs. But what's left in for Siren Clan?
Honestly, Siren Clan, I would have expected Team Bosskurr to ban out the Bruno instead of the Kimmy. And yeah, Kimmy is a little early
Your
game
team
oriented
is
as
picking.
well, but I definitely feel like having the Bruno is just so good on top of everything else. And it looks like Siren Clan this time want to have their supports. It looks like they're playing a 1-3-1 composition instead, rather than your traditional 1-2-2.
Bruno, Pylos.
Yeah, and
Your
you
team
mentioned about
is
the Bruno
picking.
before, and this will be brought into this picture, which they look to me to be the better team fighters right here. And of course, speaking of team fights, you definitely can't miss out on Bosskur's idea of trying to actually bring up the only vampire left on the table, but instead they're still thinking, hey, Kaja doesn't seem too bad in this sort of matchup where they can completely stop either the Selena or that Bruno right there. So this is going to be some pretty much heavy crowd control coming out from the side of Team Bosskurr.
Yeah, but I don't know. I do feel Nana's not too bad. Aurora would have been pretty good as well. Kaja here, I guess they have the ability to become a little bit more proactive within the game. But you know what? This is Team Bosskurr. They want to be proactive. They like fighting. They like skirmishing. So this definitely fits their style.
Yeah, I gotta say that this is gonna be pretty much something that they are very comfortable with, and they shouldn't really change too much out of that. But sometimes, being in the comfort zone, they might just be punished for that. As Siren Clan here is looking for their way out, or should I say, looking for their way in to
Welcome
the playoff
to
runs
Mobile
of the MPL
Legends.
Season 5, Malaysia and
5
Singapore.
seconds till the
We're about to
enemy
get this show
reaches the
started for
battlefield.
game
Smash
number
them.
2, as we'll see
All
Siren
troops
this time
deployed.
over on the blue side.
Yep, and hopefully the change of sides have helped out Siren Clan against Team Bosskurr here, because I do feel Siren Clan does have the capabilities and the tools to beat Team Bosskurr in this particular matchup here. Let's see how Siren Clan play it out, because I expect them to be a little bit more aggressive once they hit level 2, but personally, I would have liked to see them, go for level 1 invades.
Yeah, and speaking of level 1 invades, none of that is happening right now other than a little bit of that sort of movements across those river. But Azura X now has already spotted out Zaraki, and he will be able to actually defend this buff for a little while. Speaking of which, Siren Clan here is marching all the way in. A1, A2 is flushing out all this danger, and they managed to steal the buff away.
Yeah, and now Hylos is kind of out of position, but it doesn't matter too much. They don't have a lot of CC from the side of Team Bosskurr. Some of their members haven't even hit level 2, particularly too easy for Jep, so they can't even isolate A1, A2 with the Guardian's Barrier.
Yeah, and Joe is actually causing so much destruction as well. And so Seno's going to be popping his Firaga armor soon if he soaks in a little bit way too much. But like you said, that solo lane is going to take quite a long while before anything actually commences or result in any sort of kill. But Ambus is actually overextending, is currently being chased by 2 members. This might just be one kill in favor of Team Bosskurr, but he's actually fighting off against Zaraki, and
What?
this is First Blood going in for Team Bosskurr.
Yeah, it looks like Sino is trying to go for the dive here, but oh wow, the Aegis being popped from the side of Joe. Now Sino in a lot of trouble here. The flicker coming in from A1, A2, and an easy pickup kill from Baba Yaga. It was just handed to him on a silver platter.
Yeah, I mean, he's all the way in towards the middle of the lane. Like, he should have expected some rotations coming out from Siren Clan side, but both sides are now racing for that first turret, and Siren Clan didn't have the hit start. They will be able to actually secure one tower off, but looking at this with some mid lane matchup, sure, it's going to be nothing much going on, but there's a little bit of that technical pause coming right through. Now, look at that sort of position that Siren Clan has up over the top side here. It seems to me that they do get a little bit of that good hit start, especially when they take that red buff away.
Yeah, and I do like the plays coming in from Siren Clan. Can they be more aggressive, though? Because they have the Selena. They should be making sure that nobody is able to walk that river line at all. Like, every Lethal Wanderer is a point of contention for them. There are plenty of objectives on the maps, and they do decently know where the timers are. The only timer they're unsure about is going to be the red buff timer, so at least they can kind of position themselves to really capitalize on these buff timings.
Yeah, I think that definitely will be very vital, and for them to actually path every single movement in towards the enemy lines, it will be able to give them at least a little bit of that sort of lead. And they also have to be careful about the Natalia going in and out, which I feel like Team Bosskurr, it's a little bit peculiar to me. Like, they have that opportunity to take that Selena, and they say, hey, you know what? We're going to go for the other assassin, which I wouldn't really say it's less reliable, but hey, it's a lot more harder to pull out. And of course, we're talking about impactful sort of the utilities that they could use. Selena have those cooldowns on those Abyssal Arrows, which is a lot more frequent than what Natalia offers. So, is it an opportunity being missed by Team Bosskurr, which, you know, they could have taken advantage of, or is it a better drafting with this Natalia in the table? We can definitely discuss upon this.
Yeah, and I think that's the big question here, was like, how strong is this Natalia? I think that's going to be the crux of it all, because, you know, Natalia, yes, she does have a lot of utility when it comes to like assassination. She has the items, she has the kit to do that, except her early game is so weak. Like, she can only chunk out certain mages to about at max half HP, but that still doesn't result in a kill. Yes, you can force people out and force people who are about 50% HP to recall early so they don't get executed by the Natalia, but at the end of the day, you need somebody to deal that early damage, bringing them to that 50% threshold before the Natalia can actually be useful.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's definitely much the case here, where it's gonna take a lot of time for that Natalia to ramp up, which is definitely going to be the main concern for Team Bosskurr. But hey, they did manage to get a couple of small leads on their way, which maybe they might be able to actually force something. But speaking of that sort of scenario, Siren Clan is looking to secure the mid lane tower, and Team Bosskurr might just actually respond right there from the side lanes.
Yep, and in terms of side lanes, they're coming in hot as 2Z for Jeps with a really good wild charge, isolating A1, A2. It didn't get the stun, but the knockup was just enough to buy some time for Team Bosskurr to really capitalize on the moment.
Now, of course, with that being said, that will be able to break their goal lead a little bit closer, where we're just seeing very slight gaps. It's about 200 or 300 gold to actually set them apart for now. And too easy for Jeps, still pretty much the trusty frontliner for Team Bosskurr, which he has adapted very well, being the ex-captain of Geek fam. But, you know, this definitely brings to question whether or not, like, Team Bosskurr's success, is it due to the arrival of Too Easy for Jeps, where, you know, they get themselves a solid color towards initiating all these team fights, or could it be all the other newer faces that's actually contributing, or, you know, it might just be something else?
That's fair, but I do think that like Too Easy for Jeps has made a significant impact in the team. Like he's already, you know, he's led teams like Geek Fam to their victory. He's helped them draft. He's helped them coach them wherever he needs to be. He very literally has been a father figure to a lot of the Geek Fam members, and now he's doing the exact same thing for Team Bosskurr. So it can only mean good things. And even though this regular season, at the start of it, definitely there was a lot of issues, but now it's kind of clearing themselves up over that short amount of time, which is great. Whether it's enough to kind of secure them like championship spot at the end of the day, I'm not entirely sure considering the amount of work and effort some of these other teams have been putting in.
Yeah, and I'm really seeing at least that they put very significant effort in towards climbing on the standings, and now it matters even more for the side of Siren Clan. Like, I'm not too sure. We talked about them having pretty much very fresh faces, new talents. Since we're still on the part of leadership, could it be that it might be them not really having that sort of a solidified leadership that the other experienced players actually get out of it, where they just gotta go for those trial and error runs for them to actually make it work?
I suppose that could be a reason, but you know, previously Team Bosskurr, in terms of their communication, they were taking the game like somewhat seriously. They're still having a lot of fun as much as they can. They play they're at their best when they are, you know, very comfortable as well. And I think, you know, with Too Easy for Jeps, he kind of brings both to the table. You know, he's like, yeah, you can have fun, but there are times where you need to be serious. And this is one of those times. Team Bosskurr, Too Easy for Jeps, getting a good knock-up onto Azura. They don't secure the kill. Luckily, Too Easy for Jeps doesn't die, but Team Bosskurr, that was not a fight they wanted to take, so it's a good call that they decided to back away. Sino, he's going to lose his Viraga armor, and now Joe might be on the chopping block here, but the rest of Siren Clan is backing him up, making sure that Riverline is a danger zone for Team Bosskurr to kind of transverse through.
And speaking of the river line, that's going to be Natalia rotating towards the bot side. Oh, Flicker coming out from the side of Too Easy for Jeff as the Glorious pathway has already been opened up. They are looking to secure the mid lane tower, but it's going to be Azuraki going in from the back to actually take them all down. And then Divine Judgment coming in from Logan will be able to actually pull the second kill for Team Bosskurr.
Great Rhapsody coming in from Lexia. He was prepared. The team made the call. The communication was tight, and they really, one after another. Zaraki executed the first one, while Divine Justice was happening at the exact same time at that smoke screen. Very important to notice that because of that, the silence was long enough. To allow them to get on top of Baba Yaga, who just had his flicker, but couldn't even flicker because of that stinking silence.
Yeah, I think that the problem here is there's so many layers of crowd control that they are dealing with, and it's definitely giving them a little bit of hiccups here and there, and Siren Clan really lost out a little bit when it comes to some of all these team fights. But hey, the goal differentials aren't really too far for them to actually chase up upon. But Azura definitely need to actually find a really solid catch. But speaking of catcher, A1, A2 being caught out all by himself, nothing much that he can do, even though he popped his ultimate.
Yep. And now Too Easy for Jeps, just holding his ground, giving information to the rest of the team. Lexia holding his side. He already takes a little bit of damage from the Abyssal Arrow, but the distance was very short, so again, a very short stun. But Zeno doing a great job keeping Joe at bay, and he keeps having to harass him as long as he's left alone. He wants this to be a 1v1 between the two, just so that he can try and get some lead onto this Uranus. Oh boy, they are contesting for the buff.
Now, of course, with the buff getting taken pretty much low, they're chasing for the kills instead. Bruno will be able to actually find the Grok. Jeps is down, but they are looking for more as we are looking at EVOS trying to actually land the wave of the Dragon right there. A1, A2 falls back, and here comes Dab Sonata onto A1, A2. It won't be enough to actually bring him down, but Logan here hoping for a catch. He does have his Divine Judgment up, but, you know, they will call it a truce as they will just find ways to reset their momentum.
looks like they're kind of just playing this slow for now. Team Bosskurr, they've got a slight lead in terms of kills, but I don't think that matters too much, especially with the amount of farming Siren Clan has gotten. Team Bosskurr hasn't been able to profit very hard just yet, but Siren Clan looking for the engage here. The Glorious Pathway running Lexia down. They're trying to catch him off with just 2 members. This is a very bold move. They sacrifice Sino, and I guess that just happened.
Oh man, and we're talking about more sacrifices here to be made. 2 members are right now being chopped off from the side of Siren Clan, but they managed to find Logan still. But A1, A2, the next one to fall, as we are seeing so many of them going on the brawl mode here. Baba Yaga running for his life, as Zaraki will be able to secure that double kill as they dove right back, and that turtle will belong to Team Bosskurr.
Yeah, Lexia's a little low, but luckily he has the help of his buddy Zaraki and too easy for Jeps. Unfortunately, Azura was not able to steal the turtle away with the with the abyssal arrows. But, you know, fair play to Team Bosskurr. They finally have developed the lead, at least 1k ahead of their competitors, but that's not enough to secure a game just yet.
Yeah, not just yet, and we're definitely still looking for possibly more opportunities for Siren Clan to find better sort of the areas for them to actually go for pickoffs or so. And when it comes to the kills, we're already seeing Team Bosskurr here, of course, having at least 8 kills above Siren Clan for sure. Sorry, it's going to be 7. Where more Blade of Despair is coming out for the side of Glacia. And Team Bosskurr can only get stronger from this point onwards, but Siren Clan will be able to open up the mid lane. Well, members of Team Bosskurr, they're shoving hard over the top side.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, Siren Clan is playing a stronger macro game in comparison to Team Bosskurr, who have pretty much won a lot of their fights, but now in the backline, it's going to be down. Too easy for Jeps is the first to go. Sino trying to get on there, preemptively flickers to protect himself, and now Azura slowing them down one by one. Zaraki, can he secure the kill? He's almost got it, but Baba Yaga does survive. Zaraki is running for his life, and Ambush quickly flickers on top of him with the 3rd hit. Jikundo pulled by the Divine Justice, gets one Shinpo, gets the kick onto Sino, but it isn't enough to secure the kill. Siren Clan do come up on top 2-3 in favor of Siren Clan.
Wow, I love the re-engagement coming in from the side of Siren Clan, and they definitely reap more rewards by crushing the mid lane. While they do have Joe to actually hold on and stop Team Bosskurr on their tracks, and we're already seeing them really trying to punch a ticket in towards the playoffs as we speak.
And now they're just trying to hold their ground here for the side of Team Bosskurr. Siren Clan caught up pretty quickly after what we thought was an initial lead from Team Bosskurr. One team fight has significantly changed the course of the battlefield. And now Joe, he's going to be walking his way out. He's absorbing a lot of damage, but we're talking about Uranus here. He takes a full Death Sonata and a Rhapsody. That's a lot of ultimates for one Uranus. Siren Clan it doesn't seem like they want to do Lord early on. They're gonna wait for it a little bit more, but they can force this fight onto Too Easy for Jeps. One Glorious Pathway in trade for a flicker from Too Easy for Jeps.
Well, I think that's pretty much alright for them. At least they know that there will be much pressure coming in from the side of Siren Clan. But I'm looking at Uranus. It's looking a little bit soft here, and he's not really contributing all too much as he is having those death timers. And here comes Sino there, popping his Virga armor, and the Lord will fall in the hands of Siren Clan. But there goes Zaraki trying to actually assassinate the backline. He does not get his kill, but they are on the retreat. They've already got what they needed, and they're trying to land a pistol arrow. Oh, he dodges it by a couple of centimeters right across.
And honestly, Zaraki, I was surprised that he was able to get the kill onto Baba Yaga there. Like, he still saved one last dash after the slide tackle. He was one auto from dying, and Baba Yaga just refused to use his flicker to buy that distance. Instead, he ended up dying, and that might have costed him his team that fight, but at least they only traded 1 for nothing. The rest of Siren Clan knew that the moment Baba Yaga was down, there was no point continuing the fight.
Yeah, and right now, we're looking at Team Bosskurr. Though they did lost the Lord, they are managing pretty well over the mid lane here to take him down before it crashes right in towards the base. But of course, we still have Joe here, who is actually pulling a little bit of a push over the bottom side here, and that's a really heavy loss there. as we are seeing Azura getting taken down once again. Well, 0-2 for this Selena. Not really having the most effective run, but A1, A2 opens up a glorious pathway to escape.
Yeah, it doesn't look like A1, A2 wants to get caught out again like the last game, but now Joe is going to be that target. He quickly pops out that Consecration to get on out of there. He's pretty sick of this, so he just walks away. But the amount of resources Team Bosskurr need to expand just to pick up Joe is actually insane. He only has 6.9k gold, 2 items, the Dominant Sights, as well as an Oracle, and he is just absorbing this amount of pressure from Team Bosskurr. It's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, I gotta say that it has been a really huge swing for him, but I'm really concerned about a couple more matters here. Like, Bosskurr, they do have a lot of map control for now, but they're not making full use of it. And speaking of which, Natalia getting shut down once again. Well, just having the rest of Bosskurr too occupied over on the riverside.
And now they're rotating very, very fast towards the red pit, forcing Team Bosskurr to kind of back away. But look at Too Easy for Jeps. He's looking for a flank angle here. He knows where Siren Clan is. He's counting the members, but it isn't worth starting the fight just yet. They're kind of waiting for that 42k mark for both sides. Siren Clan and Team Bosskurr having a much more even game in comparison to game 1.
Yeah, and it's definitely looking so much better as compared to the initial run, but I'm looking at Bosskurr. They have managed to actually go in for some really heavy trade-offs so far, which Siren Clan can actually pull the trigger and maybe punish Too Easy for Jeps here. He's all alone, but there's still Leisha at the back, which can provide enough support. Natalia cutting through inside the jungle, while Joe is keeping the export occupied. So they want to keep it that way. They want to render some of all these members of Team Bosskurr to be pulled away from team fights.
Yeah, now they're just going to back away. There's nothing much they can do at this point of time. They're just going to hold their own. And again, I don't see any of these teams looking for the engagement until Lord spawns. So for now, there's nothing much that we can really say about it. As, you know, they're looking for their small little advantages across the river, but it's not going to mean much when it's the tanks. Keep an eye on Logan, the playmaker for the team, and as well as Azura, because these guys are going to be looking for the picks across the map whenever they come to fruition.
Yeah, and
wow, that did no damage.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at him go, like, you know, it's just a battle of the giants right here, and yeah, he's got the out. There's no point focusing over on the Jeps. Ambus is going to be inside his brush, and I think Jeps kind of have an idea of where exactly he's at. So that's going to be Natalia just cutting through. They're just going to be escorting a really fat way forward to the top side, and hopefully with this, they will be able to split open some of all the units coming from Siren Clan. And here comes that flicker into a way of the dragon. Big pickup there coming off as we see the high loss A1, A2 gets the kill over onto Zaraki. Well, they're still chasing right in. No way for them to actually catch over to Leisha, but they take what they can get. They're dropping out Too Easy for Jeps, and now they have absolute control of the Lord as well as the bottom side.
Yeah, this is really, really good, because now Siren Clan have put Team Bosskurr in a rock and a hard place situation. They need to get this Lord, but you can see Too Easy for Jeps. He's giving vision. A1, A2, he's going to go down. He has immortality, but they need to make this work. And now that backline, Baba Yaga is dead. This team is now in shambles. The Siren Clan reset the Lord, and they don't have any choice but to force this fight against Team Bosskurr, who made an excellent defense against that backline. Zaraki catching off Baba Yaga one more time with the help of his buddy Too Easy for Jeps.
What a reply coming in from Bosskurr. Like, they responded immediately. Like, they went there and hoping to actually catch out the Lord, which they not only take out most of their heavy hitters, like, they absolutely called it off. And here comes Sino here, forcing the finger away. They're chasing after Joe, but Joe has this really big bad shield that he can work with here, so there's no point to deal with Uranus. But Hylos is finding a little bit of that entry point, and it's going to be a stalemate for now. But I'm looking at Siren Clan. They could have done it a little bit cleaner.
Yep, and I don't know. I have to rewatch. I have to rewatch that one more time to kind of understand what exactly happened there, because the camera didn't exactly pan right over Baba Yaga. We did catch a couple of glimpses of where Zaraki and Twizy Regeps were kind of running him down, but not the entire story there. So that's a little unfortunate that we missed that. However, it doesn't change the fact that the Lord itself is the win condition for both of these teams, and they are very, very scared, both sides, to actually pull the trigger.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at the side of Siren Clan. They do have really good initiators, but in terms of defense for Baba Yaga, it's kind of non-existent. Like, if you actually commit towards any fight, Natalia has an open door to find that opportunity. And speaking of which, Debs is actually starting to fight. Here comes some Death Sonatas going in as well. Doris pathway has been opened up. Flicker coming out from the side of Ambus as they will be able to find that Bruno kill. And oh no, 2 members have lost out. And Team Bosskurr looking to perhaps punish them for their mistake.
Yeah, and now they're gonna be heading over straight away to Lord. Not just any Lord, a Luminous Lord. So it is going to have the charge animation up on lock. And maybe Azura this time, he's gonna try and steal it away. He's already used the Abyssal Arrow, it's on cooldown, but you can see that Joe is buying a lot of time in the backline. He's just shredding Lexia. He's willing to die for this. As you can tell, the Divine Justice onto Ambus here, but can they steal this Lord? It's close! Oh no, Logan has been able to take the Lord and secure it for themselves, and Team Bosskurr will collapse on the last remaining members of Siren Clan.
Too close, but Siren Clan now will have a little bit of a dip in the goal, but now it doesn't matter anymore. Both teams have already hit the 50k mark, which most items should be available already, but you know, Siren Clan now has to clear that mid lane board, which they've already set up such a beautiful wave over the bottom side, which that they can easily take not only 1 turret, but 2 at a go, while Natalia is going to be setting up from the top side.
Yeah, and now they're going to slowly push down from the bottom side, get that tier 2, and maybe sync up the waves. They're sending Zaraki over the top side to kind of accelerate the wave, just so the Lord-empowered minions will crash at about the same time.
But here comes the dive coming in. Sino might just be able to actually open things up. Oh, there we go. Last Insanity over on for 3 members right there as they try to actually reply by dropping down the health of the members of Team Bosskurr. Twizy for Death almost falters, and he will pop the immortality right there. Baba Yaga forced the flicker. 1 more member falls flat, and Joe is no longer existing. It's a mega kill going in for Logan as he has 6 kills in the back. Ambus doing what he can to actually pull all the way back. He's flickering off just to try to find a little bit of that room, but this will be over and done with. Team Bosskurr will be able to score 2 games in the row for that wipeout.
Oh, what a game for Team Bosskurr. Very difficult for Siren Clan, especially in Game 2. Game 1 definitely was in Team Bosskurr's favor after a couple of small mistakes.